Hello again, gamers. Welcome back to the Board Game Captain. I'm the Board Game Captain, and today I'm going to be previewing and talking about Shaka Shredders. And this box set, which is going to be the first one on the Kickstarter, is the Grotto Goons versus the Tiki Tech Lasers, which are a pair of anthropomorphic animal extreme sports teams that are trying to defeat each other. So first things first, I want to thank Shaka Shredders Company and Sunslap Studios for sending me this copy of Shaka Shredders to play and try out and do some content with. Thank you guys. Also, I want to say that if you guys are in a position to and would like to help support the channel, there will be a link to my Patreon in the description below where you can get access to videos early, as well as behind the scenes videos, and even the ability to request review and tutorial videos of your favorite classic games. And if you would like to buy cool gamer gear merchandise, t-shirts, mugs, and tons of different colors, there's a link to our merch store over on Teespring in the description down below. So now, all right, so this game is coming to Kickstarter at the end of this month. This is July 2020. It's going to be coming to Kickstarter at the end of July. And what is this? So this is a bit of a dueling card game. It comes with two pre-constructed decks, one of skateboarders, one of surfers, both of anthropomorphic animals. And you play out a kind of duel, but this game has some interesting gimmicks in it that make it really, really different. So let me pull out one of the cards here to show you. Here it is in a sleeve. The sleeves make them easier to shuffle, but the cards, which you see, here's the back, the S for Shaka Shredders, and then the front, you have the picture of the character along with the text for what it does. This was going to look really familiar to you if you've played a lot of dueling card games, especially CCGs and TCGs, or the living card games as well, LCGs, all of those. This is going to look like a fairly familiar format, but watch this. They're magnetic. This is so cool and so weird. The tops and the bottoms come off. They've done the magnets in such a way, though, that they kind of click right into the right spots. You can see it happen here. It will not stay slightly out of whack. It has to click into the right spot. Now, the company has told me that these ones are a prototype, that the magnets are a bit stronger than they would like, make it difficult to shuffle without putting the sleeves on. They say that they're hoping the production version will be able to shuffle without sleeves and therefore be fine. Though I will see, but I do think the sleeves aren't really that much of a problem. I'm going to go into that a little more during the review. So there is what makes this game interesting and different. But now, why do you want to be able to take the tops off? It's because you can swap them with other cards and change combinations of abilities, because each top has an ability and each bottom has an ability, and you're going to want to swap them to different bottoms periodically during the game. So let's head over. I'm going to run you through a few turns and show you how the game plays. And then we're going to come back and we're going to talk about how the game feels, and we're going to say who we would recommend back the Kickstarter of this. Okay, so here we are set up for a two-player game of Shaka Shredders. So all you really need to do to set up is make sure all of your cards are in their correct starting position. And by correct starting position, of course, I mean the correct top with the correct bottom that you want them to start in. Now, the decks come set up in their own correct starting position, but you can alter that as you play. You can decide that you want different tops to start with different bottoms. As long as you're okay with it, it's in its correct starting position. Then you shuffle up your deck and you're going to draw the top 5 cards from your deck, and you're ready to go. So now with this, we're going to kind of explain how this goes as we play, but the basic is this. On your turn, first thing you can do is draw. So the first player on the first turn does not draw to help balance the advantage of going first. Then during your turn, you may play one card into play. That can either be a performer, which you can have up to 3 of in play, a assister, which you can have up to 3 of in play, and they will help to boost the stats of a performer. Or you can play a disser, which gets played and immediately discarded, and they're usually to hurt or discard or hamper an enemy performer or assister. In addition, you're able to do one swap per turn. A swap can be between 2 cards on the field. You swap the top half of the cards. It can be between 2 cards in your hand, or it can be between a card in the field and in your hand. Now, when you swap between 2 cards in the field, or a card in the field and a card in your hand, you're only allowed to swap if they are the same sport, which both our decks are single sport. That my deck is entirely a skater deck, and Lynn's is entirely a surfer deck. As long as they're the same sport, you can swap up to one different level. So a level 1 can swap with a level 2 and become a level 2, and a level 2 could swap with a level 3. In your hand, you can swap anything. It doesn't matter. There's no restrictions. And then you're allowed to do a challenge with any of your performers that have been out at least since last turn. They cannot challenge on a turn they came into play from your hand, either by being played or being swapped. So now we're going to run you through a few turns and show you how this goes, and we're going to explain things more thoroughly as we come to them. Lynn, I'm going to give you the choice. Do you want to go first or second?
Second.
Okay, so starting with me. For my first turn's play, I'm going to play Anna Banana, which I'm going to show here to the camera. Now, Anna Banana is a performer. You can see that she has a trick card on the bottom here. Now, a trick plus a shredder equals a performer. So now her ability is actually a disability on the shredder here. That way, if she swaps into your hand, you have to exhaust one assist her, but I'm not swapping her, I'm just playing her. And her trick card here has the list of the 3 tricks that must be performed to do a combo, which I'll explain as we start doing them. So I'm gonna play her into play. I'm not gonna do any swaps, so that is going to be the end of my first turn. Very simple. Lynn, what are you gonna do?
I'm gonna take my card. I'm going to play Lob Fitty.
And is Lob Fitty also a performer?
Yes.
Now, when you're playing cards into play, you may have noticed, and I forgot to mention this, you're only allowed to play level 1 cards into play. So both Lob Fitty and Anna Banana are level 1s. In order to get a level 2 into play, you have to swap a level 2 in from your hand with Anna Banana or Lob Fitty, depending on which player you are. You can't just play a level 2.
And that's all I'm doing, I'm not swapping.
Okay, so in the beginning of my second turn here, I'm going to draw a card. I'm going to play Nibble. Now, Nibble is another performer. Nibble has the ability that he can do a challenge as soon as he comes into play, which is a really cool ability. Now, in addition, I'm going to do a swap, and I'm going to swap out Anna Banana for a card in my hand. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to level her up. Instead of having Anna Banana out, I'm going to have out Pinpoint. Now, the thing about Pinpoint is he's a level 2 and his stats are higher. So he'll be really good for helping me to defend. Since I just swapped him into play from my hand, he's not going to be able to perform a challenge. So he won't be able to do a trick. But now that Lynn has out a performer of her own, I'm going to want to hold on to him for protecting me. So that's okay. It's a good time to put out a level 2 for defending. Now, Nibble can challenge right away, and the way challenges are decided is Lynn will decide if she wants to defend, wants to accept the challenge with Lob Fitty or not. If she does, we compare their skill, which is this star stat up here. Now, whoever has the higher skill will win the challenge, but they both have 1s, which means the tiebreaker is whoever has the higher attitude will lose the challenge. That's the number on the yin-yang symbol. So in this case, Nibble would edge out Lob Fitty just slightly for having a lower attitude. So because of this, I feel fairly safe in doing a challenge with Nibble, and I'm going to do that.
I'm not going to meet the challenge.
Now, since Nibble had a skill of 1, that means he's going to score me 1 victory point. First person to 20 victory points wins, so now I'm going to keep this die behind my deck to show that I have got 1 cheer. The victory points are called cheer in this because they represent the crowd cheering on your team of performers. Now, 2 things happened because I had a challenge where I did not have to get discarded. One thing is I'm going to have to become exhausted, which is flipped over to show that I am exhausted and my stats are all 0 and I cannot be used to challenge or to swap or anything once I'm exhausted. But the other thing that's going to happen first is that as Nibble is a grab character, he has the grab ability here, and the first symbol in the combo is a grab symbol, I get to turn him 90 degrees clockwise to show that this trick has had its first part done. I would need to swap Nibble to a different character that has the flip ability to do the second part of the trick, but that will of course be on a future turn. So for right now, Nibble is good. I'm going to flip him over to exhausted and then I'm all done, and it is Lynn's turn.
Okay, I'm going to take my card. I'm going to play Jaws.
Okay, and he another performer?
Yes.
Okay.
And then I am going to swap Lob Fitty with a card in my hands.
Are we leveling up?
Yes.
I thought so.
Lob Fitty says when I swap into your hand from play, burn one.
Now, burning means you discard a card from the top of your deck straight into the discard pile. This is going to be very important because you need to have cards in the discard pile to be able to play dissers, which we'll get to probably pretty soon since Lynn's already getting some cards in her discard pile to do a diss.
And then that is it.
Okay, no challenge. Oh,
well,
of course. Oh, they both just came in. Of course they did. All right, so, yeah, scary. You've got a level 2 there. He's got 2 and only 2 attitude. Our 2 level 2s would bounce. Neither one would get discarded, though. Let's see here. So I think what I'm going to do is Okay, so for my play, I'm going to play a third performer out. I'm going to play Spangle here, and nothing to report in regard to his abilities. They're not going to help. He has an ability for when he becomes an assister, but right now he's a performer. So he's my third, and right now I'm at max number of performers. I am not going to do a swap, but I am going to do a challenge. Pinpoint is going to do a challenge.
I'm going to meet the challenge with Barnacle.
Now, Barnacle and Pinpoint both have 2 skill. They also have 2 attitude, which means it's a total wash. Nobody has to get discarded. If someone had lost, they would have to be discarded into the discard pile. So that does not happen. Nobody gets discarded, and because it was blocked, no points are earned. But Pinpoint is, of course, a flip character on a flip as the first trick on the combo on the bottom of his trick card. So he does get to turn 90 degrees clockwise, and of course has to flip over and become exhausted because he was the one who did the challenge. So, and then after that challenge, I'm going to do a swap with Nibble to swap him back out for the original, for Anna Banana, because, and the reason I'm doing this is that on a future turn, if I'm able to perform a challenge, Anna Banana has the flip ability, which is what is required for the second part of that combo. And then that is going to be it for me, and it is Lynn's turn.
I am going to play Lob Fitty, who is an assist now.
Oh.
And I am playing him under a grab, so that means target performer gets +1 score. So I'm going to play him under Barnacle.
Oh, wow. Oh, that's very well done. Very cool. So now assisters are able to be played under any character to help them, and once per turn you can switch what character they are assisting. So if Lynn decided she wanted him to assist someone else in a future turn, she could switch him.
And then I'm going to challenge with Barnacle.
Oh boy. So now if I were to defend, I would lose with either Anna Banana or with Spangle. So I am not going to accept the challenge. You go right ahead.
So I get 2 points and he gets to turn...
Oh no, he gets more than 2 because that was your bonus.
Points, right.
Yeah, that was the whole point of the assister.
I literally just did that and then forgot.
So, but he has the right, it's the right, because it's the right yes. Skill for the challenge, and then he exhausts.
And then he exhausts.
Okay, anything else from you?
No, that is it.
Okay, so I'm going to refresh my Pinpoint. I'm going to draw a card. Okay, I'm going to do a swap. I'm going to swap Nibble back in with Pinpoint here. And remember now, Nibble's ability was, if you recall from before, that he is allowed to challenge the turn he comes on into play. And the reason I swapped him in is because he has the grab as his ability, which is the second part of the combo for this trick card. And now that Lynn is a little deficient on defenders, I am going to challenge. Let me take a look here. Yeah, I would win against Jaw Z with just about everybody. I think, yeah, everybody. I'm going to challenge with all 3.
I'm not going to meet the challenge.
Okay, which means that I get 1, 2, 3 points, bringing me all the way up to 4. Not bad. They all turn, so both Nibble and Anna Banana are going to turn upside down, while Spangle is going to turn 90 degrees, but they all also exhaust, and we will find out if this was a bad decision, because now Lynn is going to get to challenge me with impunity.
I'm going to swap Barnacle, and he says when I swap into your hand from play, burn one.
Nice.
I am swapping him
with the sub-tub, and then you're burning one. I'm taking a wild guess that now that you have 2, you might be playing a Dis. Are you?
maybe looking.
And by 2, I mean 2 in the discard pile, because that's most discs require 2 or 3 cards from the discard pile to be used as a resource to play them.
Yeah, I have a disser who says my disses require 1 less energize. So usually it's 3 energy.
This requires 2.
This
then.
requires 2, which is what I have. So I am going to dis that card.
Oh man, so he gets. So is it just a discard, or what does it say?
Embarrass. Oh, I forgot. Embarrass target a sister with less.
Now with less attitude, but my attitude is 0 when I'm face down, so I definitely have less attitude. To his 3.
And then I may swap an extra time this turn.
So the embarrass means that I am discarded. So unfortunately, Nibble goes into the discard, even though he was so close to completing his 3-trick combo.
And then I get to do an extra swap if I wish. And I believe I am. I'm going to swap Jaws with Barnacle from my hand.
Now, both of those guys just came out. Did any of them have an ability to challenge on the turn they came out?
No.
Oh, okay. So you're building up to something bigger later then. Because I guess, well, because they won't be able to challenge this turn, obviously. Are you done then?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm going to flip back up. It's a little dangerous. You've got a level 2 out there again. Let's see, I'm going to draw my card. I did a swap in my hand to set up cards for a future turn. I'm in a little bit of a tough situation here, so I'm just going to play 1 card out, Hera Hoof, who is a level 1 performer. And then I'm not going to do a challenge because Barnacle can outclass all of my current performers, and I don't want to have to get discarded at the moment. So I'm going to, you know what? Actually, I'm going to challenge with Hera Hoof. Hera Hoof has the ability to challenge on the same turn that she was played. So I'm going to challenge with Hera Hoof. If I'm blocked, I'll be embarrassed and be discarded. If not, I'll get 1 point. So we'll see what happens.
Okay, I'm going to block with Barnacle.
Okay, so Hera Hoof gets embarrassed and Hera Hoof gets discarded. That is going to be it for my turn.
I'm going to swap with one of in my hand.
So Barnacle becomes who?
He becomes Huck Forest.
Is that a level 3?
It is.
Oh man, I'm in trouble.
And then he says when I swap into your hand, when I swap into play, burn 1. And Barnacle says when I swap into your hand from play, burn 1. So I can burn 2.
I have a very big fear about what is coming.
I am going to dis using Shreadzilla.
Okay.
He says, he has Energize 3, so I have 3 cards in my discard.
They'll all go to the bottom of the deck
They're
in
all
your choice of
go
order.
to the bottom. And he says, embarrass up to 2 targets with less collective. I can never remember what that is.
The third one, attitude.
Attitude. He has 5 attitudes.
Oh
so
my God.
That's definitely.
Which means I lose all performers on my side of the field.
And then
Gee, I wonder, what are you going to do?
I'm going to challenge with. He just swapped in.
So he can't challenge.
I'm going to challenge with the sub-tub.
Okay, so, well, that's going to give you 1 victory point plus, plus the 1 for that. So you get,
no. Oh, it doesn't count anymore.
Oh, because he doesn't have the right symbol.
Yeah.
So you get 1 victory point, so you go up to 4. Now, does he have the right symbol to turn him again, though?
He does.
Okay, so he's going to turn a second time, 1 more time, and he's actually going to get his combo ability off. But, of course, he'll have to be swapped out with someone for the third symbol.
I can move this once per turn, right?
Yes.
Okay, I'm just going to...
Turn and move it over there because it makes more sense for him.
Yeah, because now he has the right symbol for whatever.
Okay, and that's how you play a game of Shaka shredders. Now, the only thing we didn't get to really show you is how the combo abilities work. So, again, he's gotten to turn twice because he used to be a different character that had the grab symbol, so he turned once. Then he became the sub-tub, who has the spin symbol, and he turned again. Now, if he swapped into another character with the grab symbol again, he would get to do his combo ability, which in this case is burn 2. If you discarded an assister this way, you may put it straight into play and earn 3 cheer. So that is a really cool ability. There's other ones that just give you bonus points or let you draw extra cards, etc. But they do require you to be able to turn the 3 times before doing it, and this guy definitely looked like he was on his way to being able to do it soon and probably would have gotten that ability off. So now we're going to head back. I'm going to talk about how this game plays and how it feels. I'm going to talk about who should back this Kickstarter. Welcome back. So that was how you play a game of Shaka Shredders. It's a fairly fast and furious game. You do a lot of just get into it. You get your cards out, you do your tricks. Your opponent decides if it's worth it for them to try to block you or not. So the game is sound. The mechanics are interesting, and they do encourage the swapping mechanic. It's not just... It is... I mean, don't get me wrong. The magnetic cards are a gimmick, but the mechanic behind them, the need to swap to level up your characters or to get different abilities on the table or to get the right symbols to get the rotation on the combos is sound, and it's interesting, and it's fun. So those are... I mean... That's the important bits right there. Is does the mechanic work? Yes. Does it encourage you to do it often? I do it almost every turn. So yes. And is it fun? And yes, the answer is yes. It's fun. So all right. So let's go over a few of the downsides. Now you might have noticed, of course, my cards are in sleeves. Now they say they're going to be trying to do the next version, not needing sleeves to be shuffled. I'm a little dubious as to how well that's going to work because I'm worried about if you shuffle them knocking off the magnets on the front. But I do have to say, on a positive note, it's not that big a deal to actually unsleeve and resleeve them constantly because of how much thicker these are than normal cards. They actually slide out more easily, also because they're made of plastic. They're quite slick, so they slide out very easy. They come right up. You swap the magnets, you put it right back in. It doesn't really take much time. It can be a little fiddly. If that sort of thing gets on your nerves, you might not want to back this, but I personally don't think it's a big issue. I found it to be fine. It didn't really take up that much time, and I still really enjoyed the game. So I don't think that's really much of a problem. Other than that, I don't really have much in the way of negatives in regard to this game. I think the mechanics are sound and very interesting. And on the positive side, I've already been going over the positives. I quite like this. I think it's very innovative and very interesting. And most importantly, the mechanics that support the gimmick are enjoyable. I mean, that's the bottom line. Like when you have an interesting gimmick like this, in this case, magnetic cards, you want to know, well, do they have mechanics that support it? And then are those mechanics fun? And in both cases, the answer is yes. The mechanics support it well. You're going to do it a lot. And the mechanics are fun. It's an enjoyable game. So who would I recommend this game to? Who would I say should back this Kickstarter? So number one, if you are big into dueling card games. Let's say you're one of those people who back in the day was really into collectible card games but don't have the time anymore to do the CCGs or TCGs and now like to get self-contained card games and are always on the lookout for stuff that's new and interesting and different, brings something new to the table, enhances the style of game. This is that. This enhances the style of dueling card games in a way I have not seen before. This is a really unique and interesting idea. So in that case, if you enjoy those sort of games, yes, you should definitely check this out. Also, the theme. I grew up with the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, so anthropomorphic animals throwing out surfer slang, yeah, this hit like a nostalgic spot for me. I think that is awesome. If you like that, also, I would recommend you check this out. Now, of course, you're not battling like the Ninja Turtles where you're actually doing skateboard and surfing competitions. So that is also, if you're big into extreme sports and you find that stuff fun, also another reason to check this one out. And in addition, if you like supporting really interesting designers who come up with innovative new ways to play tabletop games, this definitely fits the bill on that. This is such a weird but awesome gimmick with some really cool mechanics. and a really fun little game. Now, the last downside I forgot to mention is it is going to be about $50 to get this, but that's because of the material cost. This is heavy. There's the materials of all the magnets in here definitely had to bring the cost up. But bottom line, I think it's worth it if you like these style of games. So I'm going to say yes, thumbs up. Check it out. I find this very interesting, and I would recommend you back this if anything I talked about today sounds interesting or enjoyable to you. So feel free to comment down below. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you backed the project over on Kickstarter or if you plan to back the project over on Kickstarter. And if you enjoyed this preview and tutorial video and you'd like to see me do more like it, be sure to give it a like, share it on all forms of social media. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to the Board Game Captain. That's Captain spelled with a K on YouTube. And until next time, game on.